Okay, so this is the presentation video for web design for the 2020 course with David in DID, and this is firstly a look at the final version website which has been uploaded to GitHub, and we will come back to this in a moment to explain the concept behind the design, and firstly we'll go through the design process and the thinking and how the design evolved to what it was when it was uploaded, and we'll start with the wireframe. So firstly, the concept here is a combination mobile first design with a desktop, giving credence to the market that we're looking for and their use of smartphones and desktop computers. In the restaurant business and catering, in the entertainment and food services business, the primary interaction is through smartphone use. People are finished work at the end of the day and they're on their smartphones watching the TV, thinking about restaurants that they might go to or ordering takeaways. The vast majority of that traffic is from mobile phones, and this dictated the design concept for this particular site. So as you see from the wireframe of the home page, I have a left hero image, but it's only 50% and not 100%, and the design is based around a container layout with borders on both sides rather than filling full width of the page. To the right hand side I have a menu. That menu is not a top level menu, and it's not a sticky menu either, and that again is reflecting the expectation that the majority of traffic to the site will be through smartphones, and it's easy to scroll up and down. As you can see then underneath, we have call to actions with the book a table call to action and a calendar plugin allowing the bookings to be made. Underneath that then we have split into 3 reviews, and we have links underneath that for the calendar events, a link to menu, and a sign up email bar to join another concept called the Gara Culinara, which is essentially the Italian words for Italian Bake Off, which is a baking competition to be run in the restaurant just to promote it. And then down the bottom we have a footer with address and contact details, and then the privacy policy terms and conditions. Next then we have the menu homepage, which I originally had conceived around a top floating nav bar and the logo branding and the social media icons at the top, and underneath that then I had originally proposed to design this with a downloadable menu rather than one on screen, which I then changed when the final design came through, and another download for allergens information. The allergens information did not make it into the final site, but for publication obviously that would be included. And then another concept would be that people on the way to the restaurant with a booking can order their welcome drinks on their way to the restaurant, so that when they arrive with their booking, their drinks will be on the table. Then there's the order takeaway call to action, and I hadn't decided on this particular plugin or this particular section to the right of the order takeaway to begin with, and it had a mirror. The same footer would be applied in all cases. Then we move to the Gara Culinara, which was this is essentially the events page. This is the free space that we could decide what we wanted to do. Now, the Gara Culinara as a concept was to be people would bring their own recipes, their own food to the restaurant. It would be prepared in the restaurant, and then it would be treated as if it were a bake-off style competition in the restaurant and judged by the chef for Arty, Zanos. And then people would bring with them their family and friends. They would book tables, they would buy drink, and they would have other food while they were there, and it would be a good event evening and a very profitable enterprise. So on the design image we have a promotional hero image at the top. We at this stage now have changed the layout to a floating nav bar at the top, which again didn't make it into the final design, and I'll explain that when we see the final site. We have a text box here for what is Gara Culinara, then an image slider of previous events, and we have a photo of the previous winner, another sign up box, join the fun, and a contact form in there with the same footer. The next page then we look at is the jobs page. Again, same layout with a floating nav bar at the top, social media at the top, and branding, a large full width hero image within the container. Then there's a text box for joining with a list of jobs, and there was going to be a video in here working in the restaurant, the promotional video, and then the section for contact form with the same footer. And finally, this then is what I was going to design for a takeaway. And I was going to put 3 options in for takeaway in 3 images with descriptions of those pizzas, and add to basket purchase buttons, again repeating download menu and the allergens information with the same footer. So those are the wireframes that we had considered when we were doing the actual concept for the actual website. Then we went to Marvel and we designed a prototype based around that just to see it visually. I determined the image. I used a typeface that was available within Marvel, put up the social media icons as I had viewed they should be, and put the menu to the right hand side. Then we have a backstory in relation to the restaurant. Then we have book table, which I opted for full width in the prototype, the 3 review boxes, then straight to an order, which I've decided not to incorporate into the site from a design point of view, but rather defaulted to an order with Deliveroo, which is an idea we got from another site. And the events page is now inviting us to make pizza like us, which will have the other events on it, and they're in the final design, and then the footer page. So then what we'll do is we'll move to the actual site as uploaded to GitHub. So as you can see, we have this 50% width within a container that's maxed out at that's maxed out at 80% of the width of the visible page, with equally a maximum width of the hero image at 700 pixels, so that it fits within the it shrinks down to the size of the smartphone screen and fills the smartphone screen. In fact, the overall idea here is that in an iPhone 10, this hero image will fit perfectly and neatly within the screen size for an iPhone 10, and then the right menu will float underneath and will invite people to navigate the site. Then we have our promotional text, and then we have we've used a plugin here from an internet, and this is linked. This is added to the site by way of a link from a site called Sagenda.net. It's not a functioning calendar. It's there for illustration purposes of people wanting to make a booking. It's not the plugin that I wished. Then we have HRs and our reviews to tidy up the sections, and then we have our reviews from 3 customers, and then we have our order for delivery with an active link to Deliveroo, which opens up on a separate page, leaving this page open, and then our link to our events page, which is a call to action: make pizza like us. The footer, the first design challenge that came up was that I designed this on a larger screen, and then I did not account for viewing it on the laptop as I'm doing now, and I would decrease the size of the social media icons in the footer to adapt to the different size on the screen. So if we then go to our book a table, that's actually an anchor on the same page back down to the Sagenda plugin. And then we can move to our story, which is the next page. Now again, I replicated the 50% hero image, changed the layout slightly, in that I put the menu now, the nav bar is now incorporated into the hero image on the left hand side. Again, mobile first design is the logic here, although it is confusing to have it floating on the right hand side on the home page and then in the hero image on this page. Then I have our background story. And then we have our jobs. Come and work with us, we need you. We have an image here on the right hand side, and we have a list of jobs with a sign up email, which is not functioning but is there for illustration purposes, a further link to our menu, and the same footer. So then if we go to our menu page, which would be the next one, then we've changed the layout slightly in that we have now a full width of the container, which is 80%, background image, which is an attractive black and white, and we have all of the replicated style of the previous page with social medias up the top, social media icons up the top, and then the navigation menu on the left with the title on the right hand side, and then the menu itself is full width with a list of pricing, and that adapts well to being reduced to a mobile screen. You can then order for delivery, and we have the same footer. Now if we scroll back up the page, then we have make a pizza like us, which is the next page. Now this is the events page. This is attracting people in, and I wanted to put more into this page at the time. It's a full width image within the container at 80%, again floating left, so there's some consistency in the design here with previous pages. We have our YouTube video of, this would be our own chef, but for purposes this is Gennaro Contaldo. And then we have a sign up for date night, which is a similar concept to the Gara Culinara, where somebody would make a recipe pizza, bring it, cook it, and then share it with their date themselves. And this would be an event that they could do as a getting into the dating market. And then there's a calendar of upcoming date night events and a sign up form. And our last page then is the art page. This is the gallery. So this is the other significant event. Now the color scheme has changed on this page very deliberately. And we have a hero image behind. We have a similar layout again. So again, consistency of design. We have our heading, and then we have the images all laid out in 3 and 3 for our profiled fictional artist Angelica Devine. The images aren't functioning. There is a hover effect over the images themselves. If you hover, which does indicate some activity should happen. Again, something to discuss in the UX. We have a profile of our fictional artist Angelica Devine, again on a smaller screen. The title should be further down on a larger screen, but on a smaller screen it seems to have floated up. And then we have a sign up bar, and that is the site that I designed in the final analysis based on the 5 pages. There are enhancements I would make. There's more information that's needed, which I'll cover in the UX design. But from the immediate matters that I would tackle, is the footer is not as slick or as polished as I would like it to be. It's a little bit messy, and particularly the social media icons, and that would have to be addressed. And that is the site Arty Zanos from a web design point of view.